Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Cancer. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with the Thoth deck, and what we see on the bottom of the deck is going to represent what you don't see coming. And once we get an idea of what the general message of this reading is going to be, we're going to pull 3 cards from the shadow deck to see what's going on in your subconscious, and to see if there's any clarifications we might need. So let's just see what happens. Okay, so today we are doing a reading for the sign of Cancer. We're tuning in to the sign of Cancer and seeing what messages we can receive. So if Cancer is your sun, your moon, your rising sign, or however else you choose today to identify with the sign of Cancer, you can use that as a way to interpret the messages that are coming through. And as always, if the details of the message do not fit, do not try to force them. Take what resonates, leave what does not. And if none of the details are really seeming to fit your situation, you can always check your other placements, or you can just stick around and see what's going on in the world of other Cancers. So let's see what we get today. What messages can be revealed to us? Is there anything we should think about? Are there any things we should meditate upon? Are there things we should, look out for? Any warnings that we should pay attention to? Are there any things that we should look forward towards? Things that we should perhaps try to put our energy into, move towards to help us better our lives or find a little more positivity in our day? What kind of things can we tap into today and learn for those who are trying to really get into the energy of the sign of Cancer? Okay, so what messages do we need to see today? So that feels pretty good. Got a pretty good shuffle here. Let's see what the message is. Okay. So we start off in the present moment with the Aeon. Oh, nice. So with the Aeon, this is a card of moving from one place to the next. One part of our life or some situation is ending, closing out, and we're looking back on what happened during that moment or that period and going through a period of judgment to decide what is going to be left behind, what will be moving forward, and how will we be reborn as we transition from one era to the next. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this is the Judgment card, but in the Thoth deck, this is the Aeon. So this really is the ending of one movement and the transitioning into another. So let's see what's happening here at this Aeon. With the Prince of Swords, trying to pull all these different cluttered ideas together into a refined, almost like the Chariot. I mean, he's riding upon a chariot, but trying to pull all of the different ideas, the different facets of ourselves together into a unified whole so that we can understand something more precisely, more clearly, and put it forth into the world. So again, with this idea of the Judgment, I think this is a reflection upon where we're coming from, where we're going, and the process of pulling all of that together as we go through this doorway and transition into this next chapter. So let's put all of this into more context. High Priestess, the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Wands, the Eight of Cups, oh nice, the Magician, the Ace of Cups, a lot of water, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Princess of Cups. That's a lot of water. Okay. I mean, this is a Cancer reading. Perhaps this is one of those moments in the life of a Cancer where the emotions that are protected for so long are opening up and really coming out into the world. And that can come out in a bit of a flood sometimes. So this could be a very powerful emotional moment for you. I mean, it's the Aeon card. We're moving from one moment to the next, and that could be a really powerful change. So whatever this is for you, you're probably feeling it very strongly in your heart. So let's get a sense of what's going on with these cards. Let's just look at the general layout here of what the distribution of different kind of energies are. So in terms of our major arcana, we have the High Priestess, or in this, just the Priestess, the Aeon, and the Magician, which is very interesting. I feel like there's a sort of Trinity sort of element there. The Aeon sort of being like the middle period between the High Priestess and the Magus, where the High Priestess is the silent voice of intuition, and the Magus is the person who presents the information from the divine and manifests it into the physical world and expresses those ideas in a way that other people can clearly see, but not like the Hierophant. He's not preaching the message of the divine. He's not trying to be the teacher. He is the expression of that. So it's like we have the beginning of the expression itself, and the Aeon is that transition where the message of the High Priestess is being sort of manifested as the Magus coming into reality. So, again, a little heady there, but that's kind of the experience I'm seeing as we transition between those three major arcana, which is really nice. In terms of our court cards, we have the Prince of Swords, the Knight of Cups, the Princess of Cups. So we have a prince, a princess, and a knight. So we've got two of water, one of air. We really don't have a lot of earth energy here. The only earth card we have is the Ace of Discs, so maybe this is a card about getting more in touch, being grounded a little bit more. That is in the challenge. So perhaps this is a reading about trying to pull your thoughts and your emotions into the world and trying to let them not just be theoretical, but actually make them a reality in the physical. I mean, as thoughts, they're still real, but make them actually physically manifest. In terms of our fire energy, we just have the one Ten of Wands, which is a difficult card, not a bad card. It's a card of completion of some idea, something coming to fruition, but also coming with it the burden of sustaining that once it's been created. Once something is brought to its full potential, there's a certain weight that has to be carried in order for that to continue being sustained in its complete form. So that's the card of oppression, duties, things that have to be taken up and held. In terms of the, we'll do, let's see, let's just look at air, because there's so much water here. In air, we have just the Prince of Swords, I think. Yeah, just the Prince of Swords. So very little earth, actually, very little air, lots of water, major arcana. Okay. Actually, just one fire, one earth, one air, and then the rest is all major arcana and water. So, okay. So with the water cards, we've got the Eight of Cups up there at the top. We've got the Knight of Cups. We have the Princess of Cups. We have the Ace of Cups. So really sloshing around in a lot of emotional energy right here. Okay, some good, some bad. Maybe not bad, but some good, some needing to be maybe cleaned up and let go a little bit with the Eight of Cups up there. So let's just go through the cards here. Okay. So as I said, we start with the Aeon. It's this changing from one period to the next, the changing of the guard, so to speak, and it's crossed by the Prince of Swords. So I feel this as a gateway, a transitional period of moving from a place of trying to collect our thoughts. And as I said, I think there's a sort of general theme here of trying to pull the things that are within us and put them out into the world in a physical form, because we're kind of lacking that right now. The only things that seem to be truly physical in this reading are the Ace of Discs, the Ten of Wands, and the Magus down here sort of being the sort of opening up of bringing these things into the world, the creator of putting these ideas into reality. So we've got a lot of burden, but not a lot of actual things, tangible things to hold on to. So maybe these are feelings that are feeling kind of oppressive on us. Perhaps you've got a lot of thoughts that are really weighing on you, and we need to get those out so that we can move on and start creating in our world rather than letting things just be building up inside of us mentally. Okay, so that's the aeon that we're trying to transition from, between maybe being stuck in our heads and into a world where we can really feel grounded in our tangible space. Okay, so with the Prince of Swords, all of the different feelings and thoughts and stuff that are within the back of your mind, you're trying to pull all of that back into the world. Bring it into focus so we can pass through this gateway. You know, if everything's flying all over the place, you know, you carry maybe like a big bunch of balloons and they're all doing their own thing. You can't get them through the doorway until you can pull them all together into a cluster, and then we can move through that gateway. Now, the High Priestess is the quiet voice of intuition. She's speaking to us in a way that we can feel, we can sense, we can understand, but we can't exactly articulate. So I think she is the expression of all of these feelings in the way that you understand them, but that is not necessarily in a way that other people can understand them. So I think the process of this Prince of Swords pulling all of this together is taking all of the insights and feelings and things that you've experienced and understand and trying to learn how to articulate the things that she's teaching us. She is your inner voice of how you experience and feel things before they are actually put into concrete thoughts and expressions of those thoughts. Okay, so we're trying to take those lessons, pull them together, and then pass through this gateway so that we can share them with others and other people can understand what it is that we're going through. Because once we do that, then we can present those feelings to other people, and that's what the Knight of Cups is doing. The Knight is going out and allowing us to share those feelings so that other people can see who we really are and what we're going through. You see, he's carrying this cup, which there's a Cancer crab coming right out of that cup, right? This is him presenting who you really are to other people and letting them get a glimpse of the internal life that you're feeling that you can't otherwise express. You know, you see it. Maybe you feel like other people see it, but until you can articulate those ideas, they really are just sort of stuck in your head. You know, you can't expect other people to understand what you're feeling and thinking unless you can express it. And if you're not able to do this, if you're not able to express these feelings and they are just getting stuck in your head, then it just becomes a weight, heavy, heavy weight. You know, like if you're drinking too much water and you don't, you know, go to the bathroom and release all of that water inside of you, it starts to build up and build up and build up. And that's what the Ten of Wands is. That's the pressure of carrying all of this emotional weight in a way that you can't release, and it just makes you feel like a balloon getting more and more blown up without any kind of pressure release. And the Aeon, I think, is representative of this gateway of letting all of that out, purging all of that emotion, not in a way of like burning it down or destroying it, but actually taking all the things that have happened to you and letting them release out of you into the world. Which is even better represented by our Eight of Cups up here at the top. Right? The Eight of Cups is a card about keeping what works for you and letting go of what does not. It's about realizing that not all of your cups are filled, or perhaps some of them are filled with things that they don't need to be. Releasing those cups of that nasty, mucky emotional water you don't need, and then going forth into the world to fill those cups with something better. So again, we're experiencing this with the High Priestess. She's teaching us all these things. This is the source of all of that water energy swelling within us through our experiences and just sort of coming into reality within us. We're now trying to then take all of that with the Prince of Swords and get all of that in focus so that we can push out of ourselves the things we don't need, so that we're no longer having to carry all of this weight within us, letting go of that negative energy, but doing the work of making sure that we keep within us the things that are positive and work for us, letting out the things that are not. But, you know, in some sense, we were also trying to not let go of, but let out and express all of this at the same time. You know, you want to move away and actually drop the things that are bad, keep the things that are good, but you want to be able to describe this entire process, get a snapshot of everything that's happening inside of you, so that you can share that with other people and they can see your emotional side and be able to connect with a better picture of who you are. That's the Knight of Cups in the near future. And the process of all of this really requires language. You need to be able to not just feel and understand your feelings, you need to be able to express them. And this is difficult. I mean, this is what talking about the things you're going through and expressing your thoughts in a physical form. I mean, journaling, talking with other people, just sitting and reflecting on your current state, the way you're feeling. This is the work that the magician is doing. He is the creator. He is someone who can bring things into the world. But I really see that the real power of the magician comes from his ability to express his thoughts. His real magical power comes from his ability to use language in multiple different forms, not just in like written or audible language, but the actual grammatical structure of piecing together different ideas into a cohesive, thing that other people can look at and get an idea of what that is an expression of. Not just feeling and experiencing things, but being able to give those outwardly to other people so that they can use the tools the magician is, or use the results that the magician builds with his tools to get a sense of what the magician was trying to express. It's like he's getting these divine downloads into his mind that he can then share with the rest of the world by using his gifts and tools to express them and make them real. And this, I think, in our environment is this new cup. This is the thing that is both a release for us, as all of these feelings need to be expressed for us to feel connected. It's a release in one sense, as it allows us to get a lot of that pressure that's building up inside of us out of us. But it's also a cup, an ace of cups, in the sense that it allows us a new connection with other people. It's not just a purging process, it is an expression as well to get our feelings out. And when you do that, other people can experience those feelings and feel more connected with you. And the two of you can, more than two possibly, but you and other people can then interface with each other in a way that's more than just bumping into each other on this life path that you're on. Where you're like, oh, I see you, hi, oh, I'll talk to you later, bye. No, really connecting with other people so that they can see you not just as another object in the world, but a feeling and thinking entity. And as they are that as well, that is something that we can all bond together as. And so as you're expressing the things that you're feeling, it's going to allow other people to connect with you in a really beautiful and positive way. And that's what allows us to get more fulfillment in our collection of cups within us. It becomes a feedback loop of expressing what's outside of us so that we can then receive more fully the things that other people are experiencing as well. And we get this nice sort of blending, the synthesis of giving and taking. And that allows us to all connect and get a little bit closer to understanding how we're all in this as one unified group together. Now, the challenge is the Ace of Discs. Again, this feels very heady. Everything I'm describing, this is very, very, philosophical, very, very, very airy feeling. Even though I'm talking about emotions, I'm talking about them in a very airy sense, very sword-like way. And so I think the challenge is the Ace of Discs, of staying grounded throughout all of this. Remembering, too, that we aren't just emotional beings, that we are physical entities as well, and we have to feel and touch and interact with other people and other things. But we also have to remember, too, that all of this sort of airy space that we're working in, these things that I'm talking about here, they are opportunities for us to get more in touch with our grounded self. Sometimes we can almost curse the fact that we feel all of these things. But they're really an expression of our physical form trying to kind of ascend above and beyond what it is. But we can take that and go the other direction with it, right? We can try to take our feelings and use them as a way to not think of a way of getting away from our physical form, but enhancing it. Taking all of these feelings and realizing that that water and that air that's then built into the earth is what creates an active, thriving, growing experience, a community, an opportunity to work with other people. And I think it's a challenge because we feel very dually cut between our mind and our bodies. But if we pull all of that together, that can bring a really beautiful vision of what life is all about. It's both of these things. If it were just air, we would just be energy. And if it was just earth, we would just be, rocks just sitting around and not doing anything. So when you pull all of that together, you get this nice symphony of this sort of tumbling together of physical forms in a way that is actually more than the sum of its parts, because we have this mental side of it. And it can be a challenge to really get connected with that. And perhaps that's part of what needs to happen as well as we go through this transition of letting out of ourselves the things that we feel, realizing that that gives us a little bit more of an ability to receive not just other people's emotional energy, but also be receptive to the grounded quality of our lives, so that we can touch the earth, touch grass, and feel more connected, not just with other people, but the world itself. And I think through all of this, this gives us an ability to look at life from a whole new beautiful lens, where we have all these different ways that we can like slice up life and look at it from different perspectives. We can look at it from a spiritual side, from a very, physical, enjoying your earthly pleasures kind of side, but it's all part of this big thing that we have. And every single part of that is important. And getting this insight that you have all these different facets of your reality will allow you to navigate the world in a much more magical and meaningful way. And I think that's the positivity at the end of all of this with the Princess of Cups. This new opportunity to emotionally and physically connect with your world, and to be more creatively open to what is possible in the world. You know, um, all of that comes together with a new perspective, and that perspective comes from being receptive, as well as being open to sharing, give, take, keep an open mind, keep an open heart, keep open touch, make sure that you're not ignoring your physical sensations. Pull all of that together, and it's going to bring a whole new beautiful vision of reality to your life that you can really enjoy and become more in touch with. And that's the gift that the Princess of Cups is bearing. She's the bearer of the energy, the pure Ace of Cups energy. She is the one who carries that towards people and gives that to them. So, what I'm hoping that this reading can possibly bring to you is to be able to embody that spirit, where you can not only go through this process yourself, but you then can be the bearer of this positivity towards other people and help them if they are stuck in a way that you might be feeling stuck, so that they can also go through this opening experience and feel more connected, unified. And I think that's a really nice way to build a better world. So that was nice. That was really nice. Let's see what we don't see coming now. Strife. There's some more fire. Yeah, I mean, as you sort of interact more in the world, when you open yourself up to other people, you also have to be open to the fact that other people are different. We are all in this together. We all have the same sort of fundamental shape to us. We're all coming from the same sort of model or mode, but we're all different in our individuality. And so part of also getting all of this unification in balance comes from understanding that we have to work with other people, not against them. And sometimes that requires us to be open to things that are seemingly in conflict with us. And it doesn't mean that we should let those conflicts just be. Just let people push you around, or don't just push other people around. It's a give and take. Hear from other people the things that they need that might conflict with your needs, and try to find, again, a synthesis somewhere in the middle, some kind of unification of all of these different energies that are all potentially opposing, but can be brought into a focus as we learn to listen to everyone and try to take everyone's perspective into consideration and try to build something that's best for everyone. And so from that conflict, we can build a stronger expansion, right? The idea of the synthesis and the antithesis coming together in or excuse me, I said that wrong. The thesis and the antithesis coming together in the synthesis, and that unified, place in the middle where those two things grow. It's an expansion of something that goes in two extremes, but those two extremes give way to a third, bigger, stronger thing that comes out of it. And that's what this card is really all about, at least to me. Okay. So now let's see what's going on in the shadow deck. Okay. So let's see what's going on in your subconscious energy. What are we thinking about? So we're just going to pull 3 cards from here and see if there's any clarifications and insights to what's going on in your mind. Things that you're thinking and feeling, but maybe not consciously thinking and feeling. One more good shuffle. Okay. 6 of Wands. The Empress, very nice. And the 10 of Wands again. So I think the 10 of Wands there is the confirmation that even though we were releasing this energy so it wouldn't be a burden on us, that burden never really goes away. And that might seem like daunting, but that's the pressure that has to be put on us so that we can always be growing. If you reach a point in your life where you're not being challenged and you're not being given things to overcome, you're going to stagnate. And, I don't want to say that, difficult situations are good, but they are necessary at some level. Hopefully they can be always manageable, but it is necessary to always have challenges to overcome and burdens to carry so that we can get stronger and stronger and stronger. When you're trying to build up your strength, you try to lift a certain amount of weight that is just a little above what's really comfortable, and you keep pushing that and pushing that and pushing that and expanding. And that's part of the synthesis I talked about, is always pushing the boundaries in a way that is manageable, but still always a little bit of a struggle so that we can get stronger from those struggles. And from those struggles, we are then able to build something in the world that is bigger than where we came from. And that's what the Empress can birth into the world. She is the divine mother that is the source of the things that can be she's the divine feminine energy, I should say, that is the creative sort of womb that things can be grown and built from. The place where things can be forged and become, beautiful, creative expressions of the things that are brought to her. She is the person that can bring into reality all of these beautiful experiences. So as you're going through this process of hearing the messages from the High Priestess, collecting those thoughts together, and then expressing them in the world, notice she is right on top of this Aeon Gateway card and the Prince of Swords, of pulling all of that energy together so that it can be pushed through that gateway and brought into the existence, right? Really birthing those unspoken emotions in a verbal, physical form, right? Kind of like how the magician creates things, but this is the actual creation, not just of the expression, but the creation of the thing itself. I mean, kind of two sides of a similar sort of creative coin, I guess. Ace of Discs. So, right, I think this is really in our subconscious, this idea of coming to terms with the weights we must carry and using those as a way to create new things, to expand ourselves. And that expansion comes through 6 of Wands energy of victory, overcoming these burdens we have to carry. And that victory from carrying those things is created through this walking through a gateway of taking lessons, taking feelings, and making them real by understanding them, expressing them, and sharing them. And what we see here in the back side of the shadow deck is the Hanged Man, which is about looking at things from a different perspective. Maybe whatever challenges or feelings that you're going through, learn to see them as an opportunity for growth rather than as something that holds us down. Don't let them be overwhelming. Don't let them bring you down. Make sure you're always releasing that pressure and sharing it with other people, but use that as a fuel for creating really beautiful things in the world. this is that period of taking all of the things that you've been through, reflecting upon them, and then learning to look at them from a new perspective. The challenges can be reevaluated, given to the Empress to manifest as some opportunity for victory. So, I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this. As always, please like and subscribe if you have not already. If you have any feedback, anything you'd like to share, maybe some ideas about what these opportunities or experiences are for you, I'd love to hear those in the comments down below. And if there's anyone that you think would benefit from this or any of my other videos, please feel free to share them. But that's all I have for you today. Again, I hope this was helpful. This was a very philosophical sort of reading, but I hope it gave you a way of looking at sort of the things you're feeling and the way you experience things, and can hopefully help you navigate things in a way that will allow you to be receptive, open, kind, and just put a little more positivity into whatever it is that you're going through. So I hope this helped, and that's all I have for today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.